Well, hello people, and welcome back to another episode of City Showcase. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we are looking at the city of Venice by the wonderful, talented Sully, whose channel is also linked down below if you'd like to check him out, which is almost a brick-for-brick recreation of Venice Beach and that area of Los Angeles. There's lots to look at here in what is possibly the most detailed ever City Skylines 2 city. So let's take a look around this absolute treat of a build, shall we? So first of all, you guys probably would have seen this on YouTube already. If you haven't, please do go and check out Sully. His channel is down below. He is criminally undersubscribed, so please show him some support. But let's just bask in this first of all, shall we? This is just an insane build. It really shows off the power of CS2's engine once it's going to have all the... Well, I guess it does have the custom stuff available now, doesn't it? So let's get a bit of a grander view. There's obviously some admin outside the city that's helping the city stay alive, but we're going to focus on essentially what is the central diorama of Los Angeles' Venice Beach here. So let's just come down to the start. This is just crazy, absolutely mental. So all this is like admin area off to the side, right? It's helping the city survive. So let's take a walk down the beach. There's hundreds, possibly thousands of decals in this city. It's really mind-blowing. And it just makes you smile. Such a cool build. So he's got a little homeless encampment out here. Of course, this is all prop work. And then look how he's actually created Venice Beach itself. There's all these little kind of like sandy grass mounds, and these are all surfaces. And this is like some of the best surface work I think I've ever seen. It's just wild what he's done with the different textures, the white kind of net lane on the outside of the surface to kind of give it a solid barrier. It's just amazing. Look at all this graffiti out here as well. Shout outs to Yin Yang, Alpha, Triton, all the wider CS modding people with really cool Venice Beach decal. Oh, there was tire marks as well. So when you just start to realize everything here is hand placed, it's absolutely gorgeous. Just so cool. We're gonna do a lot of fangirling today, everyone. I'm a huge fan of Sully's builds. So let's check out this bit over here. We've got a custom skate park again, which is just absolutely immaculate in its decal work. Very tasty put together. Nice bit of fencing around the edge of it too. And like even taking the time to just add a little bit of sand that's blowing off the beach there, all the way around the edge of this surface. We then come into, I think what I believe is a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert. We've just had actually Sully on a Patreon podcast, which is linked down below if you're interested in listening to the Patreon podcast. We've had Biffer and City Punter on there, a few Candy as well before, so always worth a listen. Let's look at all this prop work. All these custom sims sat waiting at the food stalls. Entrance into the beach concert arena here. It's just great, isn't it? All these portaloos, very festival vibes, isn't it? But then tons of food carts up along the side, which just looks brilliant. And then this huge crowd, sea of sims. Happen to zoom in right there, of course. Where else would the camera lie? But all these people start looking up here. Oh, look at that as well. Like, what even is that? Let's just have a little look what that is. It's a custom camera, okay. I was wondering what it was. Thought it might have been a prop or something, but yeah, it's a custom camera. All looking up to this stage where the Red Hot Chili Peppers are playing. Which is a very good time for all involved, isn't it? So super cool. Drum sets. There's even guitar racks around the back. Absolutely crazy. Look at this as well. Kind of a more chilled lounge area for those enjoying the gig. Bit of a VIP section, looks like, doesn't it? Separated away from the plebs of the concert, if you like. And there they are. Dude rocking the black leather jacket, the grey beard, and the black hair. We're always, they're always a treat, the CS2 sims, aren't they? But regardless, away from that little kind of like lifeguard tower here as well, LA 28. So just this one little build, this one part of Venice Beach is just absolutely rammed with detail. Just incredible. I got some graffiti walls along here as well, which look absolutely wonderful with some of the barrel fires burning, a couple of sun loungers in amongst all the palms here too. And then let's check out the actual pathway itself. So again, loads of markings, dirt, grime. I'm not particularly familiar with Venice Beach in terms of its vibe. I don't know if it's a particularly dangerous area or if it's relatively luxurious. I'm not hugely familiar with LA's kind of suburbs, if you like. And look at this. All these little outside street advertising signs here. Very, very cool. Actually checking out some of the waterfront buildings, or I guess the beachfront buildings. They're just packed with detail. He's got all these little props outside of them. Look at this one over here, like a little covered market. Where he's got props outside of the, these are the carports, aren't they? Yeah, they are. So all the props in the carports, there's like little pop-up shops. Again, jumping behind this. There's even more custom car park work and decals and whatnot. We'll get into the city centre. We'll spend the time on the beach first. And all of these, they're all individual props. All of these little shop racks, magazine stands, it's all hand placed. It really does feel like a diorama, doesn't it? It's like you're actually wandering around a real city. Head over here. Same again. There's a poster of... Well, the pop culture police are going to come after me for this one. Is that Pharrell Williams? I'm not massively into my kind of pop music, so I'm sure the pop police will be on me if it's not. I think it's Pharrell Williams. Oh, look at this fountain in the middle. Again, excellent use of the surfaces. Just to highlight a little change in texture. It's incredibly inspiring for me just to be wandering around this, taking ideas. This kind of beachfront police station as well. Isn't that wonderful? Just so cool. Police cars up at the front. And then even around this building, it's just packed with details. What is this actually made out of? Horizontal pillars. He makes a police station out of. Which is crazy, isn't it? Absolutely mental. And then again, all around that is just packed with detail. All the cracked decals on the pavements. There's bins, newspaper dispensaries. Little rock formations here on the beach, which is very nice. Some light playground detailing over here too. Just fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Tire markings on the concrete. It's so good. It is so good. I got a basketball court over here with a game going on. There's even a little ball down there as well. What is that? Is that like an individual asset, is it? Not sure if we can actually click on that. I'm not sure how he's got that in. Maybe dev mode does that. Can't seem to click on the asset. But yeah, just a little beachside basketball court here. It looks like a little toilet over there too. More food stands and cracked decals along this beach. And then just tons of posters around here. And this is the Pharrell Williams building, isn't it? It is indeed. Let's look at this. The walk down the promenade itself, all these decals just spruce up the vanilla assets. Doesn't it make a massive difference just seeing like a brand? This as well. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that visitor. This isn't CS2, is it? Who is this? Where are we? Who knows? We've left the realms of cities too, everyone. A bit of row housing fused into the commercial here as well. Yeah, just endless props. This is all hand placed, isn't it? Yeah, it is, yeah. All individual elements we can select here. Which just makes it all the more impressive, doesn't it? Waters, cigarettes, sodas, batteries and energy drinks. Chinese foot massage. Wonderful. US Polo. There's an ambulance and all that Vision Pro, the Nike logos, the Tesla, Netflix. So cool, you've got a bit of Red Road here as well, isn't that pretty? Really nice. And we arrive at another basketball court here next to the other one we just passed by. And look at all this kind of like dirty concrete now, like it needs to be repaved. The grass and the weeds are starting to come back through. More people hanging out on the beach here as well. Onto some, I guess this would be beach volleyball courts, right? I think they would be. With the pathway running all the way around. Yeah, it's a custom pathway. With lots of beach detailing along the beach, of course, with umbrellas, picnic benches. We've even got a bit of a rocky outcrop down here as well. which is a tremendous treat. A bit of like sewer admin there, is it? Or water pumping? I'm not sure what LA pumps into the Pacific. But we get a real sense of the scale of Venice Beach over here too. Does appear to be small fire behind there, or is it like part of the pyrotechnics maybe of the gig? I think it probably is, isn't it? Regardless, heading back over to where we were, just past the police station along the beach, we arrive at those beach volleyball courts, where we have, of course, the very famous Muscle Gym. Is that what it's called? Muscle Beach, is it? I think Muscle Beach, isn't it? Obviously not that famous. Yeah, there we go. Muscle Beach, Venice. Which is the greatest outdoor bodybuilding shows on Earth, apparently. And look at this. All the beefcakes of Venice. Just working out. Or at least in position to work out anyway. And just again, this tiny little square of the city is just absolutely rammed with detail. It's so cool. They've got these streamlined diner in here as well. Yeah, that's really been expanded. A lot of the fencing. More of the advertising decals around it, the road markings, the cracks, the dirt, the bushes, the palms. It just works so well, doesn't it? I don't think I've ever seen a city like this just flow so seamlessly. It's incredibly inspiring for me. Then we come across to an enormous, very American custom car park, which has been done tremendously well. And again, don't those tire marking decals make an enormous difference? Really need to get into using some of those, I think. Bit of coach parking down here by the beach as well. And then the diorama fades away over here into city administration. I'm not sure how far Sully is planning to take this LA recreation. I would happily have it on the channel again if he makes more progress on it. If he actually gets to like LA city centre, for example. So let's take a walk down the other end of the promenade where again every shop front is littered with detail. Planters, spins, props, vending machines, magazine stands, bags of apples. I think they're apples, aren't they? They look like it. And it's just gorgeous. You can literally just go for a walk down Venice Beach in CS2 in Sully City. It's I think possibly the most realistic recreation I've ever seen. I always enjoy the recreation builds, but I don't think I've ever seen one to this degree. There's a little bit of plaza detail in there with bins, fountains, trees and textures and whatnot. And then we come on to more of this just excellent beachfront work. Got some restaurants in here too. Actually interested to know what assets these are. So yeah, they're just regular commercial, but he's packed the front of them with all of these props. And goodness me, does it make a difference, doesn't it? Actually makes it look like a different asset. With that little signposts. And then more shop stands and carts and whatnot. This whole vibe just carries on as we arrive at some more custom basketball courts over here. It's a very busy game over here, isn't there? Everyone can't wait to watch this one go down. Well, this is tennis, isn't it? Sorry, not basketball. And then that loops us back around to the area we were at earlier. I love these red buildings. Look at that. You can get more Chinese massage while you eat a churro or a hot dog or a gyros or a hamburger. Get a tattoo after you've done that and then work it all off at Muscle Beach. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that, everyone. Don't think we'll ever see another city like this on City Showcase. Be very surprised if anyone can surpass Sully's detailing here. Maybe we can make that the new challenge of the series. So that kind of covers the beach area of Venice Beach, just to give you a kind of grander scale here as well. The pathwork along the grass and the sand is just sublime. Really, really is. So now let's hop back to where we started, and then we'll check out kind of the back alleys of Venice Beach around here. Where again, there's more police vehicles around the back of his police station here. Great custom decal work to kind of demarcate, don't block this entrance if you like. Super cool. We came across these custom parkings, there's eateries, little bar out here it looks like. This is a really cool way just to add some interest onto the side of a building, isn't it? Over here, this is kind of the main entrance down into Venice Beach here, which has just been expertly built, hasn't it? More of those props. The Farrah Williams building again helps us give us a bit of sense of location, doesn't it? Lovely little hamburger stop here. Fencing, decals again. And then all against the back of these buildings. Nothing has been left to chance. It's all packed with props, decals, even the graffiti down the side of this building here. Look at that. On the taxi building here. Very cool. And then we arrive to this beast behind here, which is a massive homeless camp. I guess a construction site here, or at least a ruined building of some sort. It's a great way to use some of the ruined props there, isn't it? Super, super cool. And then this huge homeless camp right behind the buildings here where we looked at those fused commercials. And just adds an enormous sense of realism, doesn't it? Trailers, bins, cones, parking barriers all tucked in behind these buildings. Even down here, there's detail. This is crazy. Just amazing. Boxes behind the trailers. This brings us back to this red road as we now cut through here. Really does remind me of GTA 5, which obviously is based on Los Angeles as well, of course. Shout out Algernon as well. He's graffitied up, tagged the back of the building. Picture of Arnold there as well. Or a mural, I suppose. This very pink building, covered in graffiti. The alleyways are just packed with details. It's crazy, isn't it? It really is crazy. I hope it puts us all to shame watching Sully play. He doesn't upload super frequently, and you can see why. Because he's spending months at a time just building this out. And what a treat he has put together for us to check out here. There's that alleyway we saw earlier, with the pathway cutting through alongside those restaurants. And then all this stuff here. It's just very well put together. I feel like I'm running out of descriptive words to just fawn over this, and then I think the diorama falls away here, doesn't it? Off out into the existing one. The map, by the way, is by Ami Polizzi Funk, and it is a Los Angeles map. So if you're looking to do an LA recreation, there is a LA recreation map available for you if you want to play it. And that brings us to the end of that diorama there. So the whole Venice Beach front here with its back alleys, every little bit of detail packed in here with the props is just mind-blowing, and that's a fraction of the city here. So let's take a walk, shall we, down kind of the main entrance into Venice Beach where everybody arrives. Again, we'll see more custom restaurant work. Look at that, isn't that great with the planters, the safety barriers, and then the benches. Just as a bit of a commercial frontage on the pavement like that. Very cool. And then the saw comes up here, more of that again. Just an incredibly creative use of props. More little homeless camps down here as well. Isolated in this little fenced off area. And then we come to one of my favourite scenes in the entire city, which is the Venice sign. Now I'm pretty sure that fence isn't supposed to be there, so I'll get rid of that. I think that's just a better bulldozer glitch. But look at that. Look at the Venice Beach sign. Isn't it amazing? It's so cool. So let's have a look what this is built out of. And we have window cleaning platforms. Then we have EU wall, which there's a number of pieces of this, it looks like. And then we have wall lights. So it's all made out of props, elevated up to spell Venice, which is absolutely incredible. I need to do this somewhere in one of my cities. Just so cool. So creative to think, okay, we have all these props. What can we do with them? Let's build an authentic street sign. There was, of course, a massive crash scene on the corner. Lots of drama unfolding here with the ambulance waiting. Alongside some rubble and a fire engine and a burning car. Which is very cool. It's very loud around here. What great decals, parking. Which way should we go here? We're starting to get lost out. Let's head down here. Let's head down here first. Let's check out some of the work he's done with these buildings here. So this is one of the signatures, I think, isn't it? Yeah, the capacitor building. Very nicely integrated. Custom car parking through here. Then we've got the Coders Park. Is that the Coders Park? It is indeed, yeah. Slowly becoming more familiar with the CS2 uniques. And a really, really nice... Is this a custom... I know it's the one-stop station. I was going to say, is that a custom gas station? But it's not. It is a unique. So again, it's all been decaled up. And then as is the rest of his main road here as well. So we kind of fall away from the diorama here into the stuff that supports the city's life support, essentially. But we get lots of decals down here. Heading back into kind of the detailed city centre. And then again, oh, this commercial just been so excellently implemented. Great choice of asset selection as well here. Sully is clearly getting very, very good knowledge of all these assets, isn't he? Little tucked in car park behind there as well. Hedge lining, trees, and this brings us back to this main corner. Well, I just love that, isn't that incredible? I need to get those brand signs, the Mackies and the Airbnb. Need to get on them. Enormous pink building right here, which is absolutely actually very inspiring for recolor. I'd never thought to do a big kind of pink beast like that, if you like, but it's it really pops, doesn't it? I'll have to do some more brightly coloured recolor stuff, I think. So we're heading down the main strip. There's lots of custom decals, props, parking configurations. This is another entrance back down onto the beach where we've got those rural power poles. Lots more trash detailing as well in between the row housing. Taking us back to that homeless camp that we came across earlier. Beyond this, we have a really interesting configuration. So what are you? You are Ludo Square. You must be a signature, I'm assuming, are you? Yes, you are. You're a named residential building, or at least mixed use anyway. And that's some great fusion, isn't it? To create kind of a wider condo complex there. I really like how he's done that. So that's what? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 Ludos and 2 community pools. With a little bit of Move It and a little bit of magic. It really transforms it into a proper condo complex, doesn't it? Big fan of that, Sully. I love that. And then we have all these amazing row house districts here that are just stunning. Really, really nice. And we come down the main street. You can see more large parking here, some truck parking as well at the foot of some of his larger assets. Every street corner. Decals just make an enormous difference to the game, don't they? You know, you take, if we can find an example, pretty much here, for example, kind of like untextured CS2 concrete. It's very clean, isn't it? Looks a bit kind of Play-Doh-y. But when it gets a bit of grub and grime, goodness me, it changes up the aesthetic of the city, doesn't it? So much more realism just from a little bit of shade and kind of darkness and shadow against the grey. I know it's a small detail to focus in on, but I think this city really highlights it, doesn't it? Because Sully's just gone so mental with all the decals. Hopefully they add some kind of weathering, aging system into the game as it grows. But then heading down here, I think we're kind of falling away from the diorama here, aren't we? Yeah, I think this is all just service stuff against this side of the beach where the build drops away. But again, the main street, especially at the entrance to Venice Beach here, is just so cool. Absolutely incredible. Checking out this building. What is this actually? That's the urban police station. Great detail next to this with trash and decals with the shipping containers. A few props in there as well. Then we got a post office next door to this too, which is very, very nice indeed. The road hierarchy is really sweet around here actually. I really love how all the roads kind of join off of the grid into the kind of arterial systems here on the beach. Really nice. So then from here, we can begin to head down into these little bits of suburb over this way, where we've got a auto center. Yes, it is the auto center that's been expanded with a little bit of custom parking and some shipping containers. And now we fall into the Suburbia, where it looks like he's working on some fill things over here. Got some props lined up with some commercial open concrete spaces. Now, I know in the last episode, over here, he said he doesn't want to go super highly detailed with every bit of the city, because obviously he's never going to get it finished if he spends the amount of time he did in Venice Beach on every little suburban street. But I know he did build a special house. I'm trying to identify it in the crawl. Yeah, so here it is. So this is City Planner's house. He's doing well for himself. He's got 4 cars on the drive. But behind here, he's having, I guess he's having a garden party, isn't he? But little flower beds here. So all this is custom garden work. Phil is over by the grill, growing everyone up. He's got some very snazzy red sunglasses. I'm not sure who's next to him. But either way, very, very cool. So, Phil has a house in Venice Beach. I would also like a house in this city as well, Sully. If you could build me one next episode, that would be tremendous. It's an official request. I'm not saying I want to live next door to City Planner. I don't think I've... Maybe you can stick me in a bit of a slum somewhere. maybe over here, as you grow Venice Beach out, you can stick me in a kind of a manky apartment. But really cool reference there to see Phil's house in amongst the sprawl. That's a really cute Easter egg we saw last episode in his series. Let's check out this main strip here. We can see the muscle garage unique. Down here again, next to a bunch of service assets, some commercial through here as well. And isn't all this kind of like decal work here, like a great awkward space filler between kind of a main street and a suburban centre? I really, really like how he's done that. Very creative. There's a lot of ambulances, isn't there? There's constant emergency services. This is like a gated community. What assets are these? So these are... Yeah, they're just commercial units. I'm assuming maybe kind of a gated community vibe, or I guess self-storage it could also work out as well, couldn't it? Not sure. But a very heavily repeated pattern of them regardless. This takes us up to kind of this main block over here, where again there's lots more work with decals and parking behind those main commercial buildings. I really love this dividing strip here with the overgrowth and the fence in between the main road. And what is a wonderful little motel complex, so isn't this cool? So these assets, I think they're just regular, yeah, the commercial motels, but recolored and in a repeated pattern, really give off a great motel vibe, don't they? Which is something I'll absolutely have to remember. Are these... What are these? Yeah, these are commercial motels. I think these are the ploppable ones, aren't they? There is a ploppable mod asset now that makes them so they don't function or need services. They're essentially props. Again, great decal work, all those cracks coming out of the buildings. Wear and tear, little security gate around the gated community there too. Really nice way to isolate a bit of commercial, actually. I really like how that sits kind of within the suburb there. It's really creative, isn't it? A bit of industry around here, it looks like, because it's commercial, isn't it? It is commercial. And then on-street parking, love those roads. More great custom parking configurations around these kinds of buildings. Really like this asset. Which one's this? The food station. I think we used that in Egerman before, haven't we? Some nice... Is this, oh, it's a hedge park fused into the back of the high school. That's very nice. I really like that. Never thought of doing that before with that asset, but it works, doesn't it? Very, very sweet. And that kind of covers this main strip. We'll get onto the canals in a second. And look at this. What asset's this? Oh, so this is multiple different things. Goodness me, Sully. What is this? What is this? So there's commercial in there. It's 2 urban police stations. And then props to make... Honestly, what should be a base game building. They should be paying you to port these into the game, Sully. This is really, really creative. I love seeing proper clever fusings like that. Very nice. A really cool school over here with some really worn football pitches. Love that. Even more the goals slightly off because it's just been moved and almost left to rot as the concrete and stone comes back in. And lots of bench detailing in between the schools. I really love this school configuration. Different angles against the buildings there are very welcome. That's really sweet. And then a little tennis court next door to that as well. Avoid low density kicks in to the left of us, and then we have the geological building here with some nice custom parking out the front. With a sports field, more parking, and then a baseball pitch here as well. Which looks like a single asset, is it? Yeah, it's one of Sully's decals, isn't it? So, and then you can add all the rest of the stuff around it, which is very cool again. I'm gearing up to build a custom stadium for Edinburgh pretty soon. So all this kind of stuff is super inspirational. Love all the decal work again there as well. It's a great way to fade out the very clean line, isn't it, where you want it to be overgrown. I really like that. I love that as well with the advertising billboards around the edge of the pitch. Super, super nice. We then come into a big old repeated pattern of the Baltar Pines building, with a little bit of an overgrown lake behind it, which does have path access. You can see the path running around there. And that's a great way to just feature a bit of geography into a build, isn't it? Bit of a lake and pond behind, perhaps. Not sure if the water levels are supposed to be up here, if it is supposed to be dry. I guess LA is pretty hot. And then the city comes away into low density here, as it then goes off into the rest of the build. I imagine he's going to build out the marinas here. That's obviously a very key feature of LA, isn't it? I'm not sure where downtown LA sits in relation to Venice Beach. I guess it's about here, is it? Probably. Downtown, or the high rises. They're pretty central to the highway, aren't they? I'll probably guess about here. I hope he does actually go to that extent. I would love to see Sully build the LA skyline in CS2. All the like the financial district stuff. More supreme crack work around there, isn't it? Which sounds weird out of context. Sully's supreme cracks. And then over here, we arrive at one of the coolest builds, the Venice Canals, which is obviously a very affluent, very rich suburb. In Sully's episode, he actually gave some very interesting history about the canals, which is quite interesting to listen to. I'll leave you to discover that. Now, he did say to me that these bridges would act a little bit weird, but we can just fix them with a bit of move it. So, of course, this area is inspired by the Venice canals. It used to be an area, apparently. Oh, I already did these. Do they always change again, do they? Yeah, I think they did. He said I just need to move them with move it to get the pedestrian bridges to snap back in. And then in terms of how he's built the canal, it's just an invisible network. Kind of like a terraforming network for those familiar with CS1. You'd have to forgive some water jank. I think it's just a symptom of playing with those networks, isn't it? But it's really cool. And it runs through the configuration. You can see it here. That's how it runs. It does connect. Well, kind of dries out a little bit here. Which I don't know if this was intentional or not, or if it's just the water level messing about. But I kind of do like the fact it's dried out a little bit, and you're just left with these little isolated pools of stagnant water. Maybe during like a warmer summer period, it does dry up a little bit. I actually really like that. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but it's very cool. And just take a walk along the Venice canals, everyone. So he's got all the really nice beachfront properties here, all placed in, all back onto these canals. Looks like she's trying to take a peek into someone's garden, it looks like. The rich and the famous around here. A big pink house over there. Absolutely wonderful. Little access ways down here onto the jetties that stick out. It's just so cool, isn't it? These pathways here too. Which I'm pretty sure they're active. What are they actually made out of? Yeah, so I think it's from custom assets from Jay's. Yeah, it is an actual pedestrian bridge. Well, we can't really see what that's made out of there. I recognise some of the fence net lanes, but the other stuff I'm not sure on. Probably some prop, isn't it? And then this just goes off in all different directions. You can see here, I do need to just correct one of the bridges. There we go. But cool as hell. Absolutely amazing. They're one of the more iconic builds of Venice, of course, the Venice canals. Thoroughly respected and wonderfully implemented here as part of Sully's build. And the assets he's used, there's some signatures in there, there's little details tucked in behind them as well. Does this come with the asset? No, of course it doesn't. This is all props. Which is just amazing, isn't it? And it's just an absolute pleasure to explore. It's incredibly inspiring for me to actually pick up some ideas for Kokai in Edinburgh. I always enjoy seeing how people piece together the custom car parks. I've now discovered I now need to be using these tire decals. They make an enormous difference, don't they? They really do. And then right on the edge of the Venice canals, over this way, we have some more custom work with excellent cracks. What are these assets here? These are the North American StarQ commercial motels. Okay. Or I think StarQ's the mod author, isn't he? I think so, yeah. But very cool. Look at this. Just every little corner, every street you glance at, there's some little hidden prop just waiting to be discovered, isn't there? A nice little commercial strip here. Love all the different parking configurations at the front. And then the city fades away as it goes off into the void. And I think that's pretty much everything covered in what really is kind of a diorama of a city. Absolute pleasure to explore it, Sully. Thank you so much for sending it in, my friend. I just want to make sure we've explored every little nook and cranny of this. I love this coloured road that comes away from the beach. Just so cool. All this work around here as well with the tiny commercial blocks. Just fantastic. And there is a lot of police cars around. I don't know if that's the police props that's doing that. I'm not entirely sure. It might be. But otherwise, that does it for Sully's Venice Beach showcase. Really one of the most detailed CS2 builds. It's relatively small because it's just so focused, almost on like a diorama kind of scale. With the detail he's gone into, especially along Venice Beach, is really, really quite breathtaking, Sully. I think by far and away the most detailed, by far, the most detailed CS2 build I've ever seen, at least. I can't think of another one on the top of my head that would even come remotely close to the detail you packed in here, Sully. His channel is linked below. If you want to see this being created in Sully's time lapses, you can go ahead and check him out. Really nice guy. I got to meet and hang out with him for a fair amount of time in Finland. We travelled back into to the UK together with a few candy. And I'm absolutely just so privileged to show off his city. Really, really love it. If you want your city to feature in the next episode of City Showcase, please fill out a link down to the Google form down below, and I will do my best to showcase your city. There are quite a few submissions, so it might be a few weeks before I get to it. But please do keep them coming in. It's so nice to see as many of you submitting as there are. Massive shout out to the patrons that support the channel, with a special roll call to Andrew Perez and O'Hagasina. If you want to get involved in that, links down to Patreon and Instant Gaming are always below. But otherwise, please show lots of love to Sully down below in the comments with this one. But otherwise, I'll shut up and leave it there. I'd like to thank you all so much again for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.